Ever wonder what it would be like to live in America over a century ago, back in 1910? Forget what you've seen in the movies. The reality was a world of incredible change, stark contrasts, and everyday challenges that would blow our minds today. Let's take a journey back in time and uncover the real story. In 1910, the United States was a nation on the move. The population was just over 92 million people, less than a third of what it is today. And where did most people live? Not in sprawling suburbs, but on farms or in small rural towns. For them, life was dictated by the sun and seasons. Work was hard, physical labor. There were no electric dishwashers or washing machines. A typical day for a woman on a farm meant waking up before sunrise, tending to livestock, cooking meals from scratch on a wood-burning stove, washing clothes by hand and preserving food for the winter. It was a life of constant work. Meanwhile, a massive shift was happening. Cities were exploding in size, fueled by immigration and people leaving the countryside in search of better opportunities. Immigrants from Southern and Eastern Europe poured into places like New York, Chicago, and Boston, creating vibrant, crowded neighborhoods. If you were a new arrival, you'd likely live in a tenement building, a crowded apartment with poor sanitation and little fresh air. Entire families would often share a single room. But these cities were also buzzing with energy and innovation. This was the dawn of the automobile age. While a Ford Model T was still a luxury for most, costing about $850, that's over $25,000 today, the sight of cars rumbling down cobblestone streets alongside horse-drawn carriages was becoming more common. This new technology was changing everything from how people travel to the very layout of our cities. What about your daily life? If you got sick, there were no antibiotics. A simple infection could be a death sentence. The average life expectancy was only around 52 years. Many children didn't even make it to adulthood. For entertainment, you couldn't just stream a movie. You might listen to a phonograph, go to a live vaudeville show, or watch one of the new silent films in a Nickelodeon. These early movie theaters cost just a nickel for admission and were a huge hit. Work for most people in the city meant long hours in factories or mills. The average work week was nearly 60 hours, 6 days a week. Conditions were often dangerous with little to no safety regulations. Child labor was still a major issue, with millions of children working in mines, factories, and on farms instead of going to school. In fact, only a tiny fraction of teenagers graduated from high school. But it wasn't all grim. This era, known as the Progressive Era, was also a time of great reform. People were fighting for change. Women were organizing for the right to vote. Activists were demanding better working conditions and an end to child labor. And journalists were exposing corruption. It was a time of immense optimism and a belief that society could be improved. So, living in 1910 was a mixed bag. It was a time of backbreaking labor and limited technology, but also a period of incredible invention, cultural dynamism, and the seeds of social progress. It makes you appreciate how much has changed and how the struggles and dreams of people over a century ago helped shape the world we live in today. What do you think would be the hardest part of living in 1910? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more journeys into the past.